Stop for a second and think about this number. In 2026 alone, just this year, the world's biggest tech companies are spending over $500 billion on artificial intelligence. Meta, up to $145 billion. Amazon, $200 billion. Microsoft, $140 billion. Google, up to $185 billion in a single year. These aren't small bets. These aren't experiments. These are the largest capital expenditures in the history of private enterprise, and they're happening simultaneously, right now. So the question you should be asking is, what do Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Sam Altman, and Jensen Huang know that most people still don't? What has convinced the richest, most calculating, most competitive people on Earth to pour their fortunes into a single technology? The answer is not that AI is cool. The answer is that they believe AI is the last technology race. Whoever wins this one wins everything. This video is going to show you exactly why, with the real numbers, the real stakes, and the real reason behind every dollar being spent. Let's go. Before we get into the individual players, let's establish something important. These people are not investing in chatbots. They are not pouring hundreds of billions into a faster Google search or a more convincing customer service bot. They are investing in what they believe is the fundamental transformation of how all value is created. Think about what electricity did to the world. Before it, almost every industry ran on human muscle, animal power, and coal. After it, manufacturing, transport, communication, medicine, literally every sector was rebuilt around it. The companies that built the electrical grid didn't just make money. They became the infrastructure of modern civilization. Now think about what AI could do to software. Today, writing software requires trained engineers. It's a slow and expensive. With sufficiently advanced AI, software writes itself instantly, cheaply, at scale. Every business that runs on software, which is every business, gets rebuilt. And that's just software. Healthcare, drug discovery, financial modeling, logistics, education, manufacturing, defense. AI isn't optimizing these industries, according to the people investing billions into it. It's replacing the entire layer of human cognitive labor that runs them. They're not betting on a product. They're betting that the economy of 2035 will be organized around whoever controls the most powerful AI, the way the economy of 1995 was organized around whoever controlled the internet. And this time, they don't want to be late. Let's start with the most dramatic player in this race, Elon Musk. In January 2026, Musk's AI company xAI raised $20 billion in a single funding round. The round was oversubscribed. They went in asking for $15 billion and investors pushed it higher. Backers included Nvidia, Cisco, Fidelity, the Qatar Investment Authority, and Abu Dhabi's MGX fund. xAI raised $20 billion in its Series E round in January 2026, pushing its total funding beyond $42 billion and its estimated valuation toward $230 billion. Then, in February 2026, SpaceX acquired xAI outright in a deal valuing the combined entity at $1.25 trillion. That deal also merged xAI with X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, giving xAI access to 600 million monthly active users and an enormous real-world data stream. xAI's physical footprint is staggering. In Memphis, Tennessee, Musk built Colossus, one of the world's largest AI supercomputers, already using 150 megawatts of power at peak and expanding toward 2 gigawatts. They plan to house 1 million GPUs there. What is Musk actually building? On the surface, Grok, an AI chatbot that now reaches hundreds of millions through X. But underneath that, Musk has been explicit about the ultimate goal. He wants AI integrated into Tesla's robotics division, SpaceX's navigation system, and eventually, space-based computing infrastructure. Musk's own stated goal for Grok 5, the next model, is a 10% chance of reaching artificial general intelligence. He is not quietly optimizing a product. He is sprinting toward AGI with over $42 billion in the tank. Mark Zuckerberg is spending money on AI at a scale that is genuinely hard to comprehend. In January 2026, Meta announced capital expenditure guidance for the year of between $115 and $135 billion on AI. A month later, they raised that guidance again to between $125 and $145 billion. Meta's 2026 AI spending up to $145 billion, more than Meta spent in 2024 and 2025 combined. To put that in perspective, $145 billion is more than the entire annual GDP of Hungary. Meta is spending that in 1 year on AI infrastructure. Where is all this money going? Data centers, GPU clusters, semiconductor investments, and talent. In 2025, Zuckerberg made one of the most expensive talent acquisitions in tech history, a $14.3 billion deal to bring Scale AI's founder Alexander Wang and his team to Meta to lead a new division building frontier AI model. Meta is also building a $27 billion AI data center campus in Louisiana, a joint venture with Nebius at gigawatt scale. Zuckerberg's stated mission: personal superintelligence for billions of people. He wants Meta AI to become the most used AI assistant on Earth, embedded in Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses. Zuckerberg is not building a chatbot. He is building AI infrastructure at national grid scale, and he has 3.3 billion people already using his platforms to deploy it through. On March 31st, 2026, OpenAI announced the largest private funding round in the history of capitalism: $122 billion in committed capital. Post-money valuation: $852 billion. Investors included Amazon, $50 billion, Nvidia, $30 billion, and SoftBank, $30 billion. To put that in context, OpenAI is now valued at nearly $1 trillion. It serves over 900 million weekly active users on ChatGPT. Its annualized revenue hit $24 billion by the end of Q1 2026, growing from $12.5 billion just 6 months earlier. No software company in history has ever grown revenue that fast. And yet, OpenAI is still losing money. $14 billion projected in losses this year alone. Because the cost of building and running frontier AI models is extraordinary: compute, cooling, talent, research. Sam Altman is not deterred. His public statements are clear. He believes AI is a foundational utility for civilization, not a product, not a service, a utility like electricity or water. And Altman is not just building software. In 2025, OpenAI acquired Jony Ive's design firm for $6.5 billion to build hardware, a mysterious, contextually aware companion device, due in late 2026. The company is also preparing for an IPO, with analysts targeting valuations between $500 billion and $750 billion on public markets. OpenAI currently loses $14 billion a year, and investors just handed it $122 billion more. That's not irrational. That's a bet that whoever gets to AGI first controls the infrastructure of the next economy. There's an old saying from the California gold rush: the people who got richest weren't the miners. They were the ones selling shovels. In the AI gold rush, Jensen Huang is selling the shovels. Nvidia's full-year revenue for fiscal year 2026, $215.9 billion, up 65% from the year before. Data center revenue alone, $62.3 billion in a single quarter, up 75% year over year. Nvidia controls over 80% of the global AI accelerator chip market. Every major AI company, OpenAI, Meta, Google, Amazon, xAI, Anthropic, runs their models on Nvidia's GPUs. The H100, the Blackwell series, and the upcoming Rubin platform are the engines powering the entire AI industry. And Huang isn't stopping. He's projected that Nvidia's AI chip revenue will hit $1 trillion cumulative by 2027. To put that in perspective, the entire global semiconductor industry was worth about $600 billion a year in 2024. Jensen Huang himself has a net worth of approximately $160 billion, built almost entirely on Nvidia stock, which sits at a $5 trillion market cap. The most remarkable thing about Nvidia's position, it's not just that they make the chips, it's that the entire software ecosystem for AI, called CUDA, was built specifically for Nvidia hardware. Switching away from Nvidia doesn't just mean buying different chips. It means rewriting years of AI software infrastructure from scratch. Jensen Huang built a moat so deep that even his own customers, the richest companies in history, can't easily leave. That's not a business, that's an empire. Of all the billionaires in this race, Jeff Bezos is making arguably the most strategic and most calculated bet. In April 2026, Amazon announced an expanded deal with Anthropic, the AI company behind Claude, that is one of the most extraordinary financial arrangements in tech history. Amazon committed $5 billion in fresh investment in Anthropic in April 2026, bringing its total investment to $13 billion. In return, Anthropic committed to spending $100 billion on Amazon Web Services over the next 10 years. Read that again. $100 billion guaranteed to Amazon's cloud platform over 10 years. That's not just an investment. That's a vertical integration strategy. Amazon funds the AI company, and the AI company funds Amazon's cloud infrastructure. It's a flywheel worth over $100 billion, and it's not just Anthropic. In February 2026, Amazon was part of a $110 billion funding round for OpenAI, contributing $50 billion, its largest single investment commitment ever. Meanwhile, Amazon's AWS division is growing at its fastest rate in 15 quarters, up 28% year over year to $37.6 billion in a single quarter. Amazon's chips business, competing directly with Nvidia, has topped a $20 billion revenue run rate, growing triple digits year over year. Bezos' bet is not on any single AI model. It's on becoming the infrastructure of the AI era, the way Amazon became the infrastructure of the e-commerce era. Amazon's 2026 capital expenditure is $200 billion, predominantly in AWS AI infrastructure. Bezos isn't betting on AI. He is the infrastructure that AI runs on. Now, we need to talk about the part of the story that doesn't make it into the earnings calls. Because here's the thing. The same people pouring billions into AI are also, in their more honest moments, terrified of what they're building. Sam Altman has openly stated that OpenAI might be building one of the most dangerous technologies in history. He still builds it because he believes if it's going to be built anyway, it's better for safety-conscious organizations to be at the frontier. Elon Musk co-founded OpenAI in 2015, specifically because he was afraid of AI being built without safety constraints. He left in 2018 over disagreements about the direction. He's now building his own competing AI and suing OpenAI in court simultaneously. What are they actually afraid of? First, jobs. Not just blue-collar jobs. AI is already replacing lawyers, coders, radiologists, and financial analysts. Goldman Sachs estimated in 2023 that AI could displace 300 million jobs globally. In 2026, those predictions are looking conservative. Second, misinformation. AI can generate convincing fake videos, fake news articles, and fake scientific papers at industrial scale. The information ecosystem is already struggling. Third, autonomous weapons. Every major military is investing in AI-guided drones and autonomous combat systems. The US, China, Israel, and Russia are all in this race. And fourth, the scenario none of them want to say out loud, but all of them think about: what happens when the AI they're building is smarter than the people building it and has goals they didn't intend to give it? That's called the alignment problem. And the honest answer from every frontier lab is, we don't fully know how to solve it yet. They're building it anyway. Because stopping means someone else wins. Welcome to the most dangerous arms race in history. So, why is every billionaire investing in AI? Because they believe, with near total conviction, that AI is the last and largest infrastructure race in human history. The company that controls the most powerful AI in 2030 will have an advantage over every competitor that no amount of money can easily overcome. Just like the railroad companies of the 1860s, just like the telecoms companies of the 1980s, just like the internet companies of the 1990s. Except this time, the stakes are not a market. The stakes are cognitive labor itself, the thing that makes human beings economically and intellectually productive. What does this mean for you? Now, first, learn the tools. The people who thrived through every previous technological revolution were the ones who adapted fastest. AI literacy is no longer optional for anyone in a knowledge economy. Second, follow the money, not the hype. The real signal in this story isn't chatbots. It's $200 billion annual infrastructure budgets. That tells you where the future actually is. Third, pay attention to the alignment problem. The single most important technological question of this decade is not, how powerful will AI get? It's, how do we make sure it stays aligned with human values when it gets there? The billionaires are investing because the upside is total dominance of the next economy. But the downside, if this goes wrong, is shared by all of us. They're building the most powerful technology in history at full speed. The least we can do is understand what they're building and why. If this changed how you think about AI, share it. Because this conversation needs to be louder.